Get comfortable with the uncomfortable. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean by doing the things that may not bring you the most comfort. Get comfortable with it. And it's pretty self-explanatory, but what I mean by this is um things that you like know you need to do. Like you know you need to be active, you know you need to take care of yourself. You know that you need to get yourself to sit down and really just focus on one thing that you've been wanting to focus on for a long time, right? You know you need to face your fears in certain things. You know that you have to put effort at things even though you might not see the outcome. Because that's the truth, is that most times when it comes to great things, you don't know what the outcome's going to be. You put in effort with a chance of getting nothing in return, right? But the thing you have to understand is that good things don't come easy. So get comfortable with the uncomfortable. Not knowing what's going to happen is uncomfortable. Uncertainty is uncomfortable. And then the traditional one, pain, going to the gym, it's uncomfortable. It's not really comfortable. You know, you're working out, you're stretching out your muscles. It's not really a comfortable situation to be in. You're upping the weight. You can get hurt, you know, things like that. Sure, it's uncomfortable, but that's the thing. You need to understand that you need to get comfortable with that uncomfort. If you're trying to gain weight, you have to eat a lot of food, and that's not comfortable because nobody likes to just cram down food down their throat in hopes that they gain weight, especially if they have trouble gaining it. When it comes to cutting, it's not comfortable to stop eating a bunch of food and then your stomach is just hungry all the time. It's not comfortable for that. So basically the moral of this like whole thing is that there's so many things out there that are uncomfortable that you should be doing and that is really good for you and that you can fall in love with, but you never really give it a shot because you're afraid of the uncomfort factor, right? Going to the gym, especially for the first time, is not really a comfortable situation in any sense, whether that's like a social sense or just simply like physical. Nobody likes to go into the gym first time, not have any clue what they're doing, surrounded by a bunch of people that do know what they're doing, and sit there and kind of just, you know, do whatever, even if they're not doing it right. It's not a comfortable situation you put yourself in. But that's the thing, you have to understand that. You just gotta get comfortable with being uncomfortable, especially when it comes to things that are really good for you. It's not really comfortable for us to sit down and focus on one thing. You know, it all brings us back to like school. But the thing with school is that most times you're learning about stuff that you don't even really care for, you don't really care about. So if there's something that's been on your mind that you're like, man, I really wish I would learn this, or take the time in my day to just sit down and focus on it, just do it. I mean, yeah, it's not really gonna be the most comfortable thing at first, especially if you're doing it like at home because you get all these distractions. Like you really want to watch a movie, you really want to spend time with your family, you really want to spend time with friends. And I'm not saying take all that away, right? I'm not saying that if you want to focus on your goals in life and all those that you gotta cut out your family, you gotta cut out your friends, you never can watch a movie, you can't sleep, you have to have 4 hours of sleep. There's some people out there that say that shit, and like, look, I'm not successful right now. I'm not successful yet. I believe in myself. I think I definitely have what it takes to do so. And that's not of ego. I think I have what it takes. Like, I trust myself. So you can't hate me for that. But what I'm saying is, so many people act like you taking away those is somehow gonna like bring you towards your goal. And yes, it can because it eliminates the distraction, but really just get comfortable with the uncomfortable, do it naturally, even if you might not want to, and just watch how you just build yourself up as a character, honestly. Okay, like right now, I can give an example of what people act like when they come to uncomfortable things. And I think when you look at the population, right, I feel like most people, and I could be wrong, but I feel like most people, when you go out in public, it's like most of them are unhealthy. Like they're unfit. They're just like, they have every problem, every health issue in the book. And I think it's because, honestly, people just got scared of being uncomfortable. They want to be comfortable at the job they hate. They don't want to change. Yes, they might not like the job, but they don't want to put the effort to change. That's uncomfortable. You have to change for that, you know? Nobody, everybody wants abs, everybody wants muscle, but not everybody's willing to do what it takes to get that, right? Because why? It's uncomfortable. You want to become good at speech, or you want to be more, outgoing. Well, I'm telling you right now, cooping yourself into your room and just being on TikTok all day, that's not going to fix your social skills. So you have to face the fear at some point. And that's why I'm saying just get used to it. Get used to being uncomfortable. Like, you don't have to like go all in at first. Like, just start out with something small. Something it's like something that is not necessarily maybe scary, but it's just like uncomfortable. I shouldn't say scary at all, because this isn't about fears, it's about uncomfortness. So just do something like start out with like stages. Like, for example, like I said, most of us don't want to sit down for at least an hour and read a book, or nobody wants to sit down and go to the gym. But start out just whatever's easiest for you. If what's easier for you is to just sit down and read a book, go for it. If what's easier for you is to go to the gym and start that, go for it. If what's easier for you to build up your social skills or whatever it is you're trying to build, then go talk to more people. I mean, you just gotta get comfortable with that uncomfort. Like, when you start a new job, right? And it's your first day and you have no idea what you're doing and you're in there learning everything, it's not really a comfortable feeling, because everybody, you're thinking about, oh, this person's gonna think I'm annoying because I'm constantly asking questions. Oh, this person's not gonna like me because I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm slowing down the process. There's so many things that go on through our heads when these kind of things happen. But these are signs of uncomfortness, right? Just get used to that uncomfortness. That way, in life, you progress, like you build up your character through it, and you just become a better person overall, and you start becoming more of a brave person, and I feel like more complete than if you just sit down and you just refuse to face all the fears. Like, I can give you a really good example of why I think uncomfortness is so important. And I shouldn't say this, but like, uncomfortness is important in good things, right? Like learning, socializing, just building your character overall. Like, it's an uncomfortable process. Change, anything that is changing, we don't like as people. We don't want to sit down and learn because it's boring. We don't want to go to the gym because we'd rather just be out with friends, partying, or at home watching a movie or something like that with family. We don't want to go to work because we'd rather spend time with family or friends, or do something else other than doing the thing that we hate. But here's the thing: there's a trade-off, right? You're getting something out of it. Like, you go to a job you hate. Why? Because it pays the bills. I mean, let's be honest. It gives you money. That's why. You're trading your time in for money. You go to the gym. Sure, you're spending more time at the gym and maybe not with friends and family, but you're getting healthier in the process. You're getting stronger in the process. You're gonna look better through the process. It might not be immediate, but with enough time and effort put into it, you'll see results, right? So, back to what I was saying, I can give a perfect piece of evidence of why or how I know that people are so scared of being comfortable. And I'll tell you right now, relationships. Relationships, I think, is the biggest change of like how we are as people today than what we were 50 years ago. I think that people fail in relationships most of the time. And it's like, I don't know, it's something crazy, like a 50% divorce rate in the US, I think, right? I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. And think about that, 50%. And here is what I think, maybe might give you the whole reason why it's 50%, but think about it. Uncomfortness, right? You start talking to a girl, you start talking to a guy, it's perfect. You talk for a month, 2 months, it's going so great. And then all of a sudden, a bunch of stuff hits you at once. Whether that's, you start fearing everything, past experience get brought up. You maybe remember the time you got cheated on. Maybe remember the time that, you got one friend, just kicked you to the curb when you needed him most. Maybe you remember that one time that family member left you because, you said something against their beliefs, whatever. All these bad things start coming up, and you start thinking, and even if nothing bad has happened to you, you might start thinking, well, what if this doesn't work out? what if my heart gets broken? You know, what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to react in the situation? You know, there's so many things you might ask yourself. And then another thing, like arguments. Like, you get in one argument, you're done. Like, think about that. That's really how most people operate nowadays in relationships. Like, they get into one argument and they're finished. They're done with. They're done trying. That's all it took. One argument and poof. And I know you can make the argument that, okay, well, that relationship wasn't strong. But that's the thing. Most people are so, they do not want to, they want to do everything but face the problem. That's why when you see all those get rich quick schemes and stuff, people buy it instantly because they don't want to go through the process of actually doing the work. They want to just get it without doing anything. And that's why they get scammed, because they try to take the easy route. So it's the same thing with relationship. It's like a scam, right? You're going through this hard phase. You're getting tested, kind of, whether you believe in God or not. Let's say God is testing you in this relationship. Okay, I'm going to throw in this argument or this problem. Let's see if they can solve it. And most of the time, people just give up. And they're like, you know what, I'm done. I'm going to go find somebody else. Because it's uncomfortable. You know, you gotta have conflict. And you gotta, you know, actually speak your mind. And people don't like doing that. Big problem that I had recently was, you know, vulnerability. You know, it's uncomfortable for me. I think I'm putting people down as I spit my feelings out onto them. I feel that, you know, they're going to look at me differently, or they're going to view me as less of a person than they are, or less of a person than what they perceived me before, because I told them how I actually feel about things. When in reality, all I had to do was just face my fear, face the uncomfortable. I got so comfortable in, you know, just portraying this positive attitude, which I think I am. I think I'm a very positive person. But when times were hard, I still try to portray that attitude, and that's just not how it is. You know, I had to understand that I am a person, I am a human, and yes, I might worry about all these things with vulnerability, and sometimes it's true. You know, sometimes you might ruin someone's mood from putting your feelings out on them, but here's the thing. Do you really want to go your whole life worrying about every little thing that you do, like with the people that you're around? That's not a life I want to live. I want to be able to tell my, you know, my thoughts, my mind. I want to be able to speak it. I don't want to be closed off. Just like I don't want anybody around me to be closed off when they're talking to me. I wish that if I told somebody, you know, if I asked them, how are you? And they were like, you know, you can give them the occasional good, but if they're like, you want to be honest? And I'm like, yeah, not good at all. And then they actually explain themselves. But nobody wants to do that because vulnerability is scary. Because it can go a lot of bad ways. But it can also go a lot of good ways too, though. You have to understand that. There's an equal reaction with the positive than there is with the negative. The negative, sure, you can tell the wrong person that you think you trust, and they could use that vulnerability against you or put you down or whatever. But here's the thing. At least you know not to pursue that person anymore. And then on the good side, you're vulnerable. You get the things off your chest. You tell them how you actually feel about things. They know where you stand. Your bond becomes stronger because you're more vulnerable with each other. And I think that's another thing. Vulnerability, I think, creates a strong bond with people. And it's kind of a weird thing. It's like traumatic events. Like when people relate on that, it's like it creates some sort of like bond. And I don't know really why it is, but I think it's just because it kind of tells you, it's kind of like a story about you as a person, right? That's what creates the bond. It's creating a character around you, so people trust you more. Because you're like, oh wow, this person's really open, you know, he's telling me how he actually feels. Why would I have to worry about anything else, right? I might not necessarily trust this person 100%, but you know, this is something you don't hear every day, right? Because nobody wants to be vulnerable. And I don't blame those people, you know, it's a very scary thing, but it's a perfect example of just uncomfort and the things you need to face. Like I had to do that. And it worked out for me, you know, I was vulnerable with my family, friends, you know, people that I trusted, obviously, or that I was getting to know or whatever. And I was like, you know what? I might not know how they're going to react, but screw it. I'll tell them the truth. And at least I'm honest. I get it off my chest and I get to see what kind of people they are. And good thing for me is that they were there for me. They said that they cared about me a lot and that I don't need to hold back from them. You know, I can trust them. That's a good feeling, right? Because you get that all off your chest. And now you know that, you know, you can somewhat trust these people. You know, it might not be, I'm not saying you're going to trust them 100% right off the bat, but like at least you're building a foundation somewhere with your family, friends, girlfriend, whatever. But I think you just got to face the uncomfort. that's really gonna free you from a lot of things. Whether it's like simple things like just maybe there's some skill that you really want to learn. Maybe you want to learn how to fight, but you never really took the time to do it because, it's a scary thing. Nobody wants to jump in a class with a bunch of people that know how to, beat their ass. But you learn a lot in that process, Nobody wants to sit down and learn like something that's boring, but they know is going to help them in the long run. Nobody wants to do that because it's uncomfortable. The feeling of being able to do so many more other things, like I said, like watch a movie, hang out with friends, family, all that. And instead sitting in your room focusing on a phone or a book or something, people don't like that because it's uncomfortable. They want to move or whatever, or just sit down and entertain themselves, but that's not entertainment to them. So the whole point of this is just to face your fears, face the uncomfort, and do the things you have to do. Like if there's something eating at you and it's just eating away and away and away, and you just keep pushing it off, like, man, you're just not doing yourself a good thing. You are hurting yourself more than anything. So just understand that. Like if you're in a similar, like I said, I was in a similar situation where I was very scared to face that uncomfort of being vulnerable. Like I do not like it. I hate it. But I just said, you know what? If I want to tell what kind of people that I really want in my life, well, this is going to be a good way to do it. And sure, they can use it against me, but realistically, how is it going to make me look bad? I'm just telling them how I actually feel, right? So even if they did want to go open their mouth to somebody, why should I feel bad about how I actually feel about things, right? Like I said, good news for me. It went out pretty well. So even if you're in the same situation as I was, and it doesn't go as planned, at least you know that you need to spend your time on yourself or pursuing somebody that actually cares about you. And I know some people are gonna be like, I don't have friends, I don't have that, I'm telling you, they are out there. You just have to do you, work on yourself for now, and then on your journey to working on yourself, you will meet people along the way, I promise. There is 8 billion people in this world, probably more than that by now. There's people everywhere. You will find a good person. Anybody who tells you that there's no good people anymore is lying to your face. There is good people everywhere. It's just a matter of finding them. God works in mysterious ways. Trust him. Trust yourself. And when you find those right people to be around, trust them too. And then I think you'll feel a lot more free to be you. Don't be scared to be you. Face that uncomfort. Be yourself. Would you rather face the uncomfort and actually begin to be yourself, tell how you actually feel about things and speak your mind? Or would you rather just live your whole life a lie and just not be yourself? You're always putting on a mask on your face. Nobody ever knows who you actually are. And then you can live your whole life a lie just like that. Hang around the wrong crowd because you simply never told them who you actually were as a person. Be with the wrong girl, be with the wrong guy, do the wrong job that wasn't meant for you, do the wrong thing that wasn't meant for you. It's so many things can go wrong if you don't face uncomfort. So that's what I'm saying. Just get it done, get it out of the way, face it, go learn the thing that you've been putting off forever. Go do the thing you've been putting off forever. You wanted to start that account 5 years ago. Why haven't you done it? You wish you had a better dating life, but yet you haven't increased your social skills. You haven't even tried to speak to people. You haven't even tried to make friends. So then, how are you going to be able to date anybody if you don't even put yourself out there a little bit? Speak to people. Simple as that. It's scary, but nowadays you got the internet. You can meet people on anything. So just trust the process, trust yourself, trust God. Keep him in your life. Follow his path. That's really it. And face the uncomfort. Seriously, it is such a big problem nowadays. Like I said, with relationships, especially because people get into one argument, it's one uncomfortable situation, and they're done. And you cannot live like that because people are not perfect at all. You will have arguments. You will have times where you miscommunicate. You will have times where you're like, oh, I don't agree with that at all. You're going to have those times. And if you just give up on everybody after one simple, altercation, what are you supposed to do? Are you just going to find that perfect person? Like, it's not gonna happen. There is no perfect person out there. Everybody's different. Everybody's got their own, qualities and weaknesses. They got their own strengths, weaknesses, all that. You just gotta understand that people are not perfect, and you get in one argument and you just shut down, you're done. You're just, oh, that person's a piece of shit, I'm done with this person. Like, if they're actually a piece of shit and you know that they're doing you wrong, okay, that's one thing. But like, if your sole reason to leaving somebody, whether that's romantic or just friendship, is due to an argument, you need to get your act together. Either that or just you don't have friends. Like, I'm so serious about that. Like, that's what I mean by uncomfort. It's like, it's so not seen anymore because people are just so scared of doing it. Everybody wants to take the easy route. Everybody wants to rush relationships. Everybody wants to, everybody wants a bunch of money, but they buy in and get rich quick schemes, get scammed, and they're like, oh man, I wonder why I got scammed. Oh, all courses are a scam. All mentorships are a scam. Everything that has education is a scam. Like, it's so dumb, and it's just like, now at this point I'm just rambling, but you get the point. Get comfortable with the uncomfortable. Learn to be you. Speak your mind on things, and trust God, trust yourself. The right people will come, I promise. I know right now it might seem that there is no good people out there. There's nobody out there you can trust. Family, friends, it doesn't matter. There's no one you can trust. And I understand your point. If that's really how you feel, I get it. But understand this too, though. There are good people out there, I promise. There are good people out there. Everybody makes mistakes. Don't get me wrong. People make mistakes. But there are good people. Just because you make a mistake, I make a mistake, the person over there makes a mistake, just because we make mistakes doesn't necessarily mean that somehow we're just terrible people because of it. Now, don't let people use that as their way of manipulating you. Like, don't let, like, if someone cheats on you and they're like, oh, it's just a mistake. No, like, fuck off. Like, no, that's not how that works. You cheated on, oh, well, great. Am I supposed to just say that, oh, yeah, it's just, we all make mistakes and just let it go? No. You kick that person out of your life. That's what I would do. I mean, if we're being honest. If somebody cheats on you and you're just like, oh, yeah, let me just keep them in. Why? Why? I can understand if someone lies to you and you're like, I'll give you another chance. Like, yeah, that's way different. But like, when someone cheats on you, or somebody goes behind your back and just talks crap about you to like every living soul on the planet, like, you're just digging yourself more of a hole. Like, trust me, I'm speaking from experience. But like I said, I'm rambling. You get the point. Get used to get comfortable with the uncomfortable. Do the things you know you need to do. Stick around when times get hard, and I think life will definitely bless you. Keep God in your life. Trust in Him. Trust in yourself. And I believe in you, and you got this thing. So get comfortable with the uncomfortable. But other than that, life isn't too short to make a change.